Okay, the recording started.
Terrific. Thank you. The time is 6:30 p.m. on November 19th, 2020, and I would like to call this meeting of the Parks and Recreation Commission to order. In the interest of public health and safety and pursuant to the Governor's Executive Order N-29-20, members of the Parks and Recreation Commission and staff are participating in this meeting by teleconference. In accordance with the executive order, the public may view this meeting online, but not in the council chambers. The city launched a virtual commenting portal, eComment, that allows residents to comment and participate in the meeting from their own homes. You can find the link to eComment at www.chulavistaca.gov/boards. Your comments must be received before I call for the close of the commenting period in order to be considered. After the commenting period is closed, I will announce a brief pause to allow the commissioners to time to read any comments that have been received. If you have difficulty or need assistance with e-comment during the meeting, please call 619-993-5004 and Parks and Recreation staff will assist you. Would the secretary please call the roll?
Commissioner Enriquez?
Present.
Commissioner Garcia? Commissioner German?
Here.
Commissioner Gregorio?
Present.
Commissioner Padilla?
Present.
Commissioner Zaram?
Present.
And Chair Doyle?
Present. The first item we have up is going to be public comments. Public comments is the section on the agenda for members of the public to address the board on items that are not listed on the agenda. I will now call for a 2-minute pause to allow the public to submit any final public comments. Commissioners, as a reminder, please refresh your screen to view any comments that have appeared. Will the staff presenter please display the public comment and start the timer? Okay, the commenting period for public comments is now closed. Have the commissioners had enough time to read any comments? Of which I saw none. Secretary, can we confirm how many comments we may have received?
I didn't receive any either.
Wonderful. Well, that will cover public comments. The next item up on our agenda is going to be the introduction of our new Commissioner Padilla to the Parks and Recreation Commission. So Commissioner Padilla, welcome to the group. Feel free to take a second and introduce yourself.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here with you all and as my first meeting. Bear with me. There's not too much going on, so I kind of got lucky that way. I get to kind of see the format, but I'm definitely excited to, get to know you all and learn from you all. But happy to be here.
Excellent. Thank you. Welcome to the group.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Welcome. Welcome aboard.
Okay, the next item up is going to be everything else we have on the agenda. So the first item will be item 1, which is the approval of minutes of the February 20th, May 28th, and September 17th meeting minutes. Do the commissioners have any clarifying questions for staff before we go to public comment? Anything, Commissioner Enriquez?
I just saw one of the last, I believe. All right, let me look back. Nope. Nope. Hold on one second. Our last one was September 17th. Just something I noticed in the public comments. I believe there was another comment that was submitted to GEO via email from B. Zamora.
Okay.
It's not in the minutes for the September 17th minutes.
Okay. So we'll have city staff add that additional email comment to the meeting minutes for the September 17th meeting.
Great, thanks.
At this point, I will call for a 2-minute pause to allow the public to submit any final comments on this item before us for this action item. Please refresh the view on your screen to ensure any new comments that appear will be seen. Will staff please display the public comment and start the timer? The commenting period for this item is now closed. Let me do a quick refresh here in case we have any comments, since I do not see any. I do not see any. Can staff confirm there were no emailed public comments?
I did not receive any.
Wonderful. Moving right along. Are there any comments or questions from the chair on approving these minutes? Anything from commissioners to before we get a motion to approve? Is there a motion to approve? Commissioner German?
Move to approve as amended.
Terrific. We have a motion by Commissioner German. Do we have a second? Commissioner Gregorio seconds.
Second.
All in favor? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions, just to make it fun. Nice. Well played, Commissioner Padilla. The next item on the agenda is going to be item number 2, which is Proposition 68
Chair Doyle?
statewide. Yes, go ahead, Gio.
Sorry, let me do the roll call for
Yes,
approval.
sorry.
No worries. Commissioner Enriquez,
Yes.
Commissioner German,
Yes.
Commissioner Gregorio,
Yes.
Commissioner Padilla,
Abstain.
Commissioner Zaram,
Yes.
and Chair Doyle.
Yes. Okay, so now the next item up is going to be number 2, which is the Proposition 68 statewide park program. At this point, we're going to hear a presentation from city staff.
Good evening, commissioners. This is Tim Farmer. Unfortunately, my video is not working tonight. So in the meantime, Patricia's Furman's video is working, so she'll kick us off. And we're going to talk about 2 different park opportunities for a Prop 68 grant. And I will turn this over to Patricia.
Thank you, Tim. Well, good evening, commissioners. It's a pleasure being here and seeing you virtually. We're very excited to present 2 parks that we would like to submit an application for. And the first park that we are going to submit an application for is the Patty Davis Neighborhood Park, also known as D Street Park. This park was presented to the Parks and Rec Commission last year. And the Parks and Rec Commission recommended approval of the park and subsequently went to City Council for approval, the master plan. And City Council approved the master plan in January of this year. So just to give you an overview of the park, as you recall, the park is located at the west end of this street park. This is a city right-of-way, and it's approximately 0.81 acres, and it's west of Woodlawn, south of the Vista Mart development, which is about 87 townhomes, and north of the Basin Mobile Community. Next slide, please. So the community provided input in 2017 and 2018. We had several meetings with them, and we presented several options. They gave us their input, and then subsequently we presented to the Parks and Rec Commission in 2018, and the commissioners provided additional comments, and we went back and revised the master plan based on the comments that we received from the commissioners, as well as from the comments that we received from the community. We even had another meeting with the community after we met with the commissioners in 2018, and that resulted in the master planning that was presented to this commission in October of 2019. Some of the concerns that we heard back then was about parking, and we did a parking count, and we found out that even removing the existing parallel parking, which is about 36 spaces, we still had parking available within the neighborhood. So other comments that we received back then in 2017, 2018 were that the homeless issues, and we also discussed these problems with staff in the police department, and we worked with them to create the master plan as well. So as you know, subsequently this master plan was approved. Next slide, please. And that is the master plan that was approved by council in January of 2020, this year. So just to give you an overview of what that is. So it has a community garden, which is it has about 12 raised planting beds. Each bed is about 4 by 6. And it has obviously compost bins and trash and water. Also, it has an open lawn area for passive recreation. And it has a 16 by 16 shade structure for picnics, and it has barbecue areas as well. It has benches. It has a playground and a DG, decomposed granite trail or loop that connects to the existing sidewalk north of the park. As you recall, the development to the north has front doors facing this park, and there is no fencing between those doors and the park, so it feels like it's their front yard, which is ideal for this type of park. And so that DG trail or DG loop connects to that existing sidewalk. So someone could walk around, and it's about 768 lineal feet. So in order to reach a mile, somebody would have to walk that loop about 7 times, just to give you some idea of what that means. And also it will have lighting. Also, it has some street lighting that will remain, but in addition to that, we will add pedestrian lighting to the south of the park. And it has an entry monument. So those are the main components of the master plan. So now the next step is to obtain grant funds for the construction of the park, and number one, to refine this master plan and create a set of construction documents. Next slide, please. So what do we need today? So today we are just, number one, sharing with you the city staff's proposal to present an application to the Proposition 68, which is the park program, and then show you what we're planning to present to them, which is the master plan, and request funding for the construction and the development of the construction documents. So we would like to present this to you today, and also some of the questions that we would like to ask you is, are there any recommendations that you may have so that we can consider them as part of the refinement of the master planning? So with that, I would like to open this presentation to maybe getting some feedback from the commissioners. And Tim, unless you would like to go and move forward to the Eucalyptus Park and then come back to the street park?
I think for the purpose of public comments, I think we can do public comments after both of the presentations, but I think right now if there's any clarifying questions by the commissioners, I think now is the appropriate time for Patty Davis Park. And then after we have Eucalyptus Park discussion, we can have clarifying questions and then open up the public comment.
Okay.
Commissioner German, go ahead.
Just one quick question. Who was Patty Davis?
Patty Davis was a city council member that contributed to the community a great deal. And during the presentation to the city council, it was proposed by the city council members that we name this park Patty Davis.
That was going to be my question also. So thanks for being it to me, Commissioner German. Commissioner Enriquez, go ahead.
Is there a relationship being built already, or has there been thought about any nonprofit organization or any specific group who would be maintaining the garden section of the park?
Yes, we have discussed this with some organizations, and Stacy Kers, who wasn't able to attend this meeting today, is in charge of obtaining information from them. So at this point, I don't have any specific information for you. I do know, though, that they do have trusted managers that would take care of this community garden. In addition, We have been discussing the opportunity with the Feaster School, and they're very interested in utilizing the community garden for some type of teaching or engaging the students and the parents.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
One of the questions I had, I remember back when this park first got brought up at the commission a while back, they were discussing that there was going to be a see-through wall on the western edge, so that there'd be a view of the bayfront and the water line and all that kind of stuff. And we had discussed issues with getting tagged and ruined and all these different things like that. Do we know what the thought for the final result is on what that wall on the western edge is going to be?
Yes, it's going to be a fence. It's not going to be a block fence. So that will eliminate any potential tagging off that wall.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Commissioners, any other questions on Patty Davis Park? Commissioner Gregorio?
Yeah, around the community garden, is that going to be an enclosed area or feature of the park?
Yes, the community the community garden will have a fence around the garden.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Anything else before we move on to the next park? Nobody? Okay, let's go ahead and move on to the next park, please.
All right, Gio, can you go to the next slide? So before I talk about Eucalyptus Park, I want to talk about the grant itself. So the Statewide Parks Program, which is the name of this grant opportunity, is a competitive grant program to create new parks and new recreation opportunities in underserved communities across California. It was funded by Proposition 68, which was over $1 billion bond measure. And this is the fourth and last round for this parks grant opportunity in the program. Sites that are selected must meet specific criteria regarding the median household income as well as park acreage per 1,000 residents. So for us, we have a very limited area in town that we can identify sites to apply for grant funding. This also is an extremely competitive grant program. Last cycle, less than 10% of applicants were awarded grants. And so we anticipate that this program is going to be even more, or this round is going to be even more competitive. But we feel that we'll have a very good opportunity to have competitive applications with these two proposals. So the site, so Eucalyptus, unlike Patty Davis Park, Eucalyptus Park has been in existence for almost 100 years. It was dedicated in 1927 as Chula Vista's first park, and it's quite large at almost 20 acres in size. Gio, can you go back to the picture there? Eucalyptus is a heavily used park with two distinct sections. The upper section, which you can see where it says baseball fields on the left side of the picture, is often called Menzel and is home to a lighted pony baseball field, Little League size field, and the American Legion building, along with a restroom and parking. The lower section, anything to the right and north of that, makes up most of the acreage of the park and has a lighted softball field, a playground, currently a sand volleyball court, 4 tennis courts, a dog park for large and small dogs, picnic shelters, a basketball court, and horseshoe pits. Even with all these amenities, much of the southern portion of the park are under, or if not completely unutilized. So before we open up for design ideas or for public comment, some of the feedback and ideas we've received in the past, which motivated us to select the site, has been the following. The connection between the lower section and the upper section of the park is not accessible or acceptable. The chain link fencing surrounding the park is unsightly, and as a gateway into Chula Vista from the north, a more pleasing fencing is wanted. The dog park needs significant improvements. On the bottom of the fence, it doesn't have bottom rail, so dog can sneak underneath and sneak out. The surface is completely mulch and dirt, and there are no furnishings. And the slope behind the maintenance shed, where you can see the cluster of trees just to the left of the orange block, has a tendency to receive a lot of graffiti and vandalism. We also have some maintenance concerns in that orange block area with some old irrigation and some old turf. So this is why we selected this park. We think there's a lot of improvements, availability in this park, and we wanted to get a lot of public input And so fortunately, you're one of the groups that are going to be providing input on this. So before we receive input from you, I'd like to move on to the public comments. I'll kick it back to you, Chair.
Sounds good. So at this point, we will call for a 2-minute pause to allow the public to submit any final comments on the item before commission deliberation. As a reminder for the commissioners, please refresh the view on your screen to ensure that the new comments are appearing. Will staff please display the public comment and start the timer, please? Okay, our 2 minutes is up. Just a quick once over. I do not see any public comments. Secretary, did we receive an email in regards to this?
Yes, we did, Chair Doyle. Give me 1 second, okay?
Sure.
Okay, we received an email from Susie Murphy. Her message was, hey all, not sure if I can or am allowed to join the meeting virtually tonight. Tim Farmer asked me for some ideas for Eucalyptus Park in the way of bike park, pump track, bike playground type amenities. I have lots of ideas and experience here and happy to share. Lots of potential at Eucalyptus Park for something like this that would have great benefit to the neighborhood. Thank you. That is all.
Terrific. Thank you. Hopefully we will have city staff reaching out to that person and getting the input from them that we can. So at this point, let's go to clarifying questions in regards to Eucalyptus Park. Any questions from commissioners for city staff on this one? Commissioner's arm?
Yes, Tim. Rich Hopkins, Public Works gave me a tour. He told me there was a homeless issue at this park. Is that still the case?
There is still an issue, yes.
Okay, thanks.
Commissioner German?
Just two things real quick. The first one is a mechanical matter. I think somebody may have a stereo or TV or something going on in another room of their house because there's some background noise. Could everybody check and just make sure that that's not the case, because it kind of cuts into my hearing and it's difficult to understand at times. And second, I just wanted to thank staff for focusing on this eucalyptus park. Not only is it the oldest one, but as folks will recall, the west side of town had been very concerned about the lack of updated facilities as well as overall lack of facilities. I think it was a very wise decision to focus on Eucalyptus Park. And finally, thanks to the staff for incorporating our concerns on Patty
Davis.
Thank you, Patty Davis Park.
Excellent. Thank you, Commissioner German. Commissioner Enriquez?
I was wondering what is the, how much is the grant? Like, how much are we talking about being able to do here? And the area that, well, that orange area of concern, I've been going to this park for a long time, so I believe that's all real hilly and it's a big slope. And what are some of the, are there any other ideas that the city staff have been thinking about utilizing that space for? I think the sound of a bike park, I mean, that would be perfect because it is real hilly and you can do little pump tracks and stuff, and it would be pretty neat kind of simulating a bike trail up in the mountain area. So that sounds pretty cool. I just don't know how much the grant is for and what you can do with all that.
All right, to answer the first question, so with there's two separate applications, and each limit on the application is $8.5 million. So I believe we're looking at close to $2 million for the Patty Davis Park application, and this one we're looking at $8.5 million. So I think we're going to try to get the totality of that award for this park. Now there's a lot we can do with $8.5 million in this park. But I think a lot of what we're trying to do is improve what we already have there, but then also add amenities like the bike park. That area that is in the orange, that's actually a little further east than the hilly section. So the wooded section that's just to the left of that orange thing is where all the slopes are. And then the section that's orange is right now it's it's a lot of grass or formerly grass area. There's a tree out there in the middle. We were looking at different ideas, maybe a soccer arena, a lighted soccer arena, maybe a connection point with the corner building that you see on the bottom right hand of that plot line. But more importantly, what we want to do is we want to get your direct feedback as a commission. So we're going to move into a quick design workshop. So we're going to have a blank slate here, and if there's specific things that you as a commissioner want to see in this park and would like us to move forward with applying for, then this is an opportunity for you guys to provide that input as well. So Gio will bring up a quick, so here's a shot here, and it's basically like a sticker diagram where you can just say, I want a playground in the middle of the trees there, and then she can drag it over there and we can do it that way. So I'll turn it back over to you.
Okay. Well, this is fun and interesting. Gotta love technology. Commissioner Enriquez, what do you got?
I just have a clarifying question. That bottom corner there, is that the Boys and Girls Club? And is that still functioning as a Boys and Girls Club or YMCA?
It is currently being leased out by the YMCA, but they are their lease is up and they're moving out at the end of this calendar year. So we're looking at utilizing that space for our department, possibly an arts space. So we're looking at different options of including in this grant as well to update that building.
And is there a grade? Is that up high as well, or is that flat along with that proposed soccer arena area?
No, that is elevated above that lower section.
Okay.
Go ahead, Commissioner Padilla.
Just another question. That elevated space that we were just talking about, the YMCA, there's no path down to that, the previously orange space. Am I right about that?
Right. There currently isn't, but if that's something that you'd like, we can put that in the option here.
Okay.
Do you see
Commissioner German?
Go ahead, Renzi. I yield to you.
Oh, thank you. Do we know the usage of all these baseball fields? It seems like we got 3 baseball fields comparison to the other types of sporting events we could have there. Was there a need for all 3?
Yes, before COVID, well, I like to give that caveat. Before COVID, all 3 of these fields were used extremely high. They are lighted fields. The two bigger fields are lighted, so they get used extensively. The smaller field is part of the Chula Vista American Little League, and it's also shared with National Little League. So these fields all 3 of them are used pretty heavily.
Okay, thank you.
Commissioner German, go ahead.
Yeah, much as I'd like to start shifting yellow circles all over the place to put in swimming pools, I don't think this is the greatest location for one because it's too close to both the northern border of the city as well as Park Pool. But I do like the idea of putting the area that was previously highlighted in orange into use for a covered nighttime lighted soccer field. We've always had a huge interest in soccer. I think it's growing still. And I don't know that we have any nighttime facilities for soccer, certainly not nighttime or covered facilities for soccer in Chula Vista. So I like that idea myself.
I agree. That's a good idea, and I think would go over well. Anyone else? Commissioner Gregorio, Commissioner Zarum? Sorry, I'm scrolling across to make sure I can see your hands as they shoot up in case you have something you want to throw in there. I don't quite know that it's big enough for a rugby field, but I'd love to see one of those in Chula Vista. Just take out the whole thing, make it rugby.
Gio, put a yellow sticky in the middle of the field, put rugby.
Needs to be a really big yellow sticky, though. Commissioner Padilla, go ahead.
I know you mentioned there was a dog park. I think it was kind of over on the top left side. I think that, I don't know how, I haven't been to that dog park, but I think that making that, or, people mentioned improvements in that area. Doggy bag, yeah, right over there. So I don't know the length of that, but I think that improvements there, and if there's unused space, maybe making it larger and throwing in, I know that people with dogs, if there's a dog park that's well maintained, has a plenty of doggy bags, spending time there I'll be there a couple times a week if there's a space that's maintained and big enough and secure. So I think that's important.
Perfect. Dog park. It's on the list. Commissioner Enriquez, what do you got?
I just was thinking about our pickleball friends and wondering if the tennis courts are highly utilized, and if not, maybe converting it to like a real pickleball court. If that's something that residents in Chula Vista are interested in, and or grow the interest in that sport. Since to me it sounded like an activity that was very open to different abilities, and introducing folks to maybe some exercise that they don't typically utilize or do, and then they can be, whatever. It sounded like a pretty all-inclusive type of a sport.
I would definitely agree with that. In the over-the-line community, a lot of them are pickleball players, and a lot of them don't know where they can go to do it, so they put tape down on tennis courts they can find. So if we can convert one or put multiple courts onto a tennis court, because I think they said you can fit multiple pickleballs on one tennis. Maybe there's some room for pickleball in there too. So I agree, that's a good idea. Commissioner, sorry, other screen. Zarum, anything you like there? Hiking trail around the exterior?
No hiking trail. I was going to bring up the pickleball. She beat me to it.
Great minds think alike. Commissioner German, go ahead.
I agree on the pickleball and or over the line. I just thought of something else that I had mentioned, about a year or two ago during just after a hot spell. And that is, please bear in mind that during these hot spells, I've consistently found that there aren't a lot of places that have a lot of shade in Chula Vista. And I would ask that the planners keep in mind the need for trees that provide shade, both existing, as we have in roughly the middle of the diagram, and perhaps on the northeastern quadrant of the park, where there are a few scattered trees, but not many outside of the baseball field area. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Gregorio.
Thank you. How about the volleyball, beach volleyball area, just probably right around that area above the YMCA. I don't know if those trees are kind of shading an open space area, but it wouldn't take much to put a little rectangle beach volleyball area. Probably easy to maintain as well.
Commissioner Gregorio, you read the mind of the developers. There is a sand volleyball court there.
Oh, there is?
Yeah, it's right next to the play. It's right next to the playground. It's hard to. I don't think you can see it in this picture, but I believe it's right underneath the shade.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you. All right. It solves that.
Any other thoughts or comments before we wrap up this agenda item? Commissioner Enriquez.
Thanks. I almost pressed my mute button. It all includes updating and improving the park as well. And I think the sand volleyball court can use some significant improvement from the last time that I saw it. But regarding the eucalyptus area, I like that idea of a bike park in there or some, if not that, maybe some sort of like challenge course or obstacle course, adventure course where kids can go in there and, walk over bridges, climb on ropes. I don't know if that's safe or not, but maybe there's some sort of professionally developed way to create something like that would be really neat.
An American Ninja Warrior course, but on
not
NBC's dime. Or maybe they want to partner with us.
Right.
Tim, shoot an email out.
I'm on it.
I'm on my way. Okay. I can't wait to see what this park turns into. Fingers crossed we get this grant. Commissioner German, any final comments on this one?
No, thank you.
Commissioner Zarum?
Keep the rugby team away from the park courses.
They won't play there. They'll play somewhere else. Commissioner Zarum, anything? Commissioner Padilla? Commissioner Gregorio? Commissioner Enriquez? Wonderful. I think you guys all provided some great comments on how to upgrade and things to look into adding, and I look forward to see what we can pull off once we get this grant. Okay, so there is that. We have heard that. So the next item up is going to be number 3, which is staff comments. Do we have? Ooh, yes, we got sharing screens again.
Yeah, I'm going to let Sean Ellis start, and then I'll finish the staff comment section.
Hello, commissioners. Can everybody hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. So first, I want to start off, talk about what we're doing out at the South Library in Chula Vista. The drive-through COVID site, recreation staff, they're doing the check-in for the county, and they are basically, right now, we're averaging over 500 tests a day at that drive-through COVID site. Back in October when we started, we were getting between 200 to 300, so it's a very busy site. We are still doing the food delivery. This past month, we did 24 households. We delivered 76 boxes of food. Excuse me, 76 boxes of food. Our aquatics programs. We're offering monthly swim lane rentals, private swim lessons, and pool rentals. And then we are continuing to do our restroom disinfecting. Our part-time staff, we have 10 recreation staff that are, they provide additional cleanings at our park restrooms. There's 31 parks each day that get cleaned. Our recreation, we started our recreation classes. We did a fall session. We're offering outdoor classes and Zoom classes. Our outdoor classes are incredibly successful. We offered 19 classes and 17 of them are running. We have a total of 111 participants for these classes. For our Zoom classes that we're offering, we offered 15 classes and 5 of those are running. We have a total of 30 participants for those. Just to give you a little update on Norman Park. The multi-purpose hall is complete. The floor is sanded down to the bare wood and it's done. It looks beautiful. It looks brand new. And also they're currently working on the roof and that'll be completed in early December. Just to give you a little update on our recreation facilities. 5 of our facilities were used as poll sites during the election. We used Salt Creek, Heritage, Veterans, Otay, and Norman Park. And lastly, we have been doing playground sanitizing. A mixture of our supervisors and part-time staff. They drive around to 50 park playgrounds and sanitize the heavily touched areas of the playgrounds to make them a little more safe. So that's all I have as far as updates as far as recreation goes. Any questions?
Thank you, Sean. Go ahead, Commissioner German.
Quick question regarding the pools. Are both open now or just one?
Both are open, yes.
Thank you.
Any other questions from the commissioners? Wonderful. Thank you, Sean. Tim, did you have something to add in after?
I did, yes. So first of all, thank you, commissioners, for your input on the design workshop for eucalyptus, as well as kind of groundproofing what we've already decided for the Patty Davis Park. I think these are great opportunities, and we always appreciate your input and your leadership in these programs. Sean left off with the staff that are sanitizing the playgrounds. We are going to begin installing hand sanitizer units at all playgrounds, as well as outdoor fitness areas and gazebos. We have 164 that we're going to be installing, and so it's going to take quite a while, but they'll be out in the playgrounds within the next 2 to 3 weeks. Gio, if you can move to the next slide. We have a few pictures here. So Breezewood Park Playground was recently redesigned and redeveloped. So there's playground pictures on the left. There's a zip line that goes through it. There's a covered 2 to 5 area, and then on the center one, you can see the brand new hex gazebo there that has the shade structure. This park is pretty heavily used. This playground was very rarely used at all. And now that we have this playground in there, it's jam packed with people. Probably a little bit more so during COVID than we would like, but this definitely has been a needed design for this neighborhood. To the right there, you can see the pickleball courts that were developed over at Mackenzie Creek Park. I know there was a mention of the amount of pickleball courts you can fit on one tennis court. So that is one tennis court that you see that has 4 pickleball courts. And on the right side of that picture, you can see the little sliver of the additional pickleball courts. All this was donated by the pickleball community. So they donated almost $15,000 to buy the equipment, to get a contractor to come out and resurface the court so they can have a dedicated pickleball area. There's at least 45 people a day that go out and use this, and sometimes it's up to 65. So this is definitely a growing sport in our community. And for us as a program department, we also purchased some pickleball equipment, and we are going to be checking them out at the library. So if people want to go out and try out pickleball, they could check out the paddles and the balls at the library for a week at a time. So we're still waiting to get that finalized into the system, and then we'll promote that out. So if any of you want to join and try to play pickleball, feel free to check out your paddles at the library and come out and play at Mackenzie Creek Park. As you may have heard, the playground at Veterans Park was burned down. It was vandalized at the end of September. Fortunately, we have insurance that will cover the cost of that. So we are going to replace the structure there with the first accessible net climber in the nation. So we're excited once we get that thing installed, and we can and have you guys out to check it out. It's just a beautiful piece of equipment, and I think the community is going to love it. Additionally, we also have Roar Park and Explorer Park playgrounds that will be replaced here in the next month and a half. So we have a lot of new playgrounds that are going to be opening up soon, and the Roar Park actually has a program called Play On, where parents and kids can come and scan a QR code, and it gives them a series of exercise routines to use on the playground that is consistent with national standards for physical education. It also gives us data on how many people are using the park. So if that's successful at Roar, we're looking at trying to expand that throughout all of our playgrounds. One, to give kids more opportunities to play and more opportunities to exercise. But it also gives us stats on how many people are using our parks and how many people are coming back to use them. And then lastly, we have the Valle Lindo mini pitch. We had the commission approve that last meeting, and that is almost completed. So hopefully next meeting we'll have pictures of that. And there's so many grand openings that have to happen in the next 6 months after we're able to have in-person meetings. Millennia Park and Iskaya Park are almost finished, so they should be open by the early next year. And so once we have all these open and we're able to have events post-COVID, we'll have grand openings for Strata, Orion Park, the Library Deck, Millennia Park, Iskaya Park, and all these playgrounds that we've had as well. So with that, is there any questions on our Park and Rec update?
Commissioner German, go ahead.
Thank you. I'm sorry to learn for the first time about the vandalism at Veterans Park. What was the playground that was burned made of? Was it wood or was it plastic, metal, composite?
So the bulk of the playground was made of a composite wood, which was one of the only composite wood playgrounds we had in the city. All of our metal, there was a metal swing set that was pretty charred as well. But the entire playground just went up in flames. There was a video of it posted by a neighboring resident, and the flames were about 60 feet up in the air.
Great. Are there any leads on the investigation into it?
Not that I'm aware of, no.
And this is Veterans Park out in somewhat near Medical Center Drive by the Ralphs.
Yes.
Correct. It's right above the Ralphs.
Yeah, this is
right.
Tracy Lamb. There was a person that was connected with a number of arson aspects that has been apprehended by the police, and they're further investigating that there could be a connection to this. It was an arson that was starting a number of fires, not only within the city, but down at the Otay Valley Park. So
right, I remember hearing about that on one of the local neighborhood chat lines.
And so they
thank you.
Yep. And also just to close out with Tim and Sean's presentation, the Park and Recs Department has been really hitting it out of the park under COVID. They've stepped up for this community with the food distribution. They're doing a great job at keeping so many people, 500 people coming through there every day for the testing site, getting their information, helping them understand how to go through the process. And they've been really going above and beyond. And Tim's leadership is just great. I mean, the first ever handicapped climbing park for kids in the country is going to be here in Chula Vista. It's just amazing to work with companies and for them to have that relationship to entrust Chula Vista. And Veterans Park, what a great park to put a wheelchair accessible exercise activity for not only for maybe the tots, but for veterans and stuff. It's just an amazing thing that Tim and his team are doing. So just wanted to point out and to send some kudos under COVID and the challenging and stressful times. And our parks are open to businesses for yoga and churches. You can't go into our parks now without them just flowing with people, just getting out to recreate. But also we're working with businesses and religious groups to make sure they can continue to provide a safe environment for their patrons. So Tim and his team have stepped up for the city of Chula Vista, and I'm really connected to this community. And I just wanted to make sure you understood all the great things that this is doing for the citizens. Thank you.
Go ahead, Commissioner German.
Yeah, I agree 100% about the job that staff are doing across the board, even in areas that are traditionally outside the ambit of parks and recreation. I think they are doing it because they can be counted upon to do it well, as we've seen. The question I had was for Giovanna, actually, and that was, can we specifically have note made in the minutes that the pickleball courts were donated by the pickleball community? I think it's important to have on record the provenance of contributions to the city so they're not overlooked or forgotten in the future.
I agree. It's good to let them get some recognition for the hard work they put in after coming to see us.
Yeah.
They wanted something done and they made it happen.
Yeah. I think everybody who attended the meeting where they showed up was impressed by how organized they were and how coherent a plan they had presented to us.
I agree. Any other comments or questions for the staff update? Tim, Tracy, anything from you guys?
No, thank you. And just to clarify, Tracy Lamb is the Director of Community Services.
I'm sorry I didn't introduce myself.
Excellent. Thank you. With that done, we'll move on to the next item, which is going to be chair's comments. Nothing out of the ordinary for me. I want to officially welcome Commissioner Padilla to the group. It's going to be great to have you working with us. One of these days, we'll all get to sit in council chambers again and see each other and shake hands. So I look forward to that when that happens. But in the meantime, this will be our fun way of getting to know each other and help do what we do for the city of Chula Vista and all this random free time that we have. So thank you all for what you've done so far. And at that point, we'll move on to commissioners' comments. So are there any commissioners that would like to make comments? Commissioner German?
Just as a matter of housekeeping, were we to have a presentation on Otay Valley Regional Park? There was a handout that came out later on today.
That was an information item that was sent out at the request of Commissioner Zarum. If there was any questions in relation to the OVRP presentation that was in that email, he said he was able to answer any questions.
Yeah,
Okay.
I asked them to send that out because I think I mentioned before, I'm chairman of the Citizens Advisory Committee for Otay Valley Regional Park. And at our last meeting, homeless issues came up, and it was addressed extensively in that handout from OVRP. We had the Chula Vista Hot Team do a presentation as well as a ranger presentation. So, you know, OVRP within the Chula Vista boundaries is a big homeless problem and a fire problem, and I just sent it out for information. If you have a question, you can ask me.
I appreciate it and thank you for that. I just want to make sure we didn't forget about it. I also wanted to ask you, John, if am I reading the maps correctly when I noted that the incidents, locations of what were called brush fires roughly approximated the locations of the homeless encampments?
Oh yes, that's who's causing it.
Okay, I wanted just to be sure that I understood that. And welcome to Commissioner Padilla as well.
They're cooking down there and everything, and you know, it gets out of hand.
Right. Just add my welcome to Commissioner Padilla and ask that she tell her dad I say hello. He was one of the first officials I met when I moved to Chula Vista 17. and I've seen him from time to time. So just tell him I said hi.
Will do, and thank you for the welcome. I appreciate it, and I really one day we'll see you all in person at some point and get to see you, meet you, and get to know you also. Thank you.
Okay, Commissioner German, does that wrap up your comments?
For now, at least.
Fair enough. Any other commissioners like to make comment? Commissioner Enriquez, go ahead.
I just, again, would love to throw out a shout out to Tim and his staff for all the work that they're doing. The content that they're putting out on Facebook as well, giving our kiddos lots of fun activities to do online. And I joined this commission with the intent to pull resources and improve the west side of Chula Vista. And just seeing that happen as I've been on this commission just brings me lots of joy. So thank you, Tim and your team.
Agreed. They are doing an amazing job. Commissioner Padilla, any other official comments you'd like to make in your first meeting?
No, just echoing what everyone says. The staff and Tim, everyone seems to be on top of it, and hearing, things were answered. The questions that I had just before this meeting about what, COVID, they were all on top of it. And it's been, just to echo the sentiment that a wonderful job in a very difficult time.
Thank you. Commissioner Gregorio, anything from you?
No, I just wanted to welcome Ashley to our membership.
Excellent. Well, with that being said, if we have no other items, Commissioner German, what do you got?
Yeah, I meant to ask this before, but I hope that other folks have seen the news reports recently about the County Board of Supervisors just approving the new development in the northeastern corner of Chula Vista. It looks like it's going to be a pretty big one. And this is where my pitch comes in. It seems to me that out in the sticks, if you will, that it will be, relatively speaking, it would be an excellent place for a new aquatic facility that we could model after one of the larger ones in the county. Say Carlsbad did a good job on theirs, Coronado, lots of stuff out there, lots of money from the developers in which to fund it with. So I'm going to be looking closely at that and watching its progress.
Agreed. I think I heard that lies on county land, though, not City of Chula Vista land. So that'd be something to keep in mind. But yes, hopefully what grows out there is going to help benefit the residents of Chula Vista all over that want to make the trip out there and go use those facilities. Any other comments? Okay. The time is now 7:33, and I'm adjourning this meeting to Thursday, January 21st, 2021 at 6:30 p.m.
Thank you, everybody.
Thanks, everyone. Good night.
Thank you.
Thanks.